Well, hello there, boys and girls. What time is it? It's pack choy time. Pack choy time, boys and girls. And there they are. Now, they've been growing on merrily up in Tiki Tunnel 1, which is that big one there. The big polytunnel. So we're going to get these into the bed. I've just prepared the bed. And there it is. Now, that's 6 feet by 4 feet. Which is what's that in metric? Well, it's about 120 centimetres by 80 centimetres. Got that wrong, haven't I? 120 centimetres by 180 centimetres ish in metric. But we're an imperial country, so it's 4 foot by 6 foot. Now, into there, we're going to be planting 24 pak choi plants. All I've done to that bed is de-weeded it. I've worked my fingers and my paws through it, working in some blood, fish and bone, about 3 scoops of blood, fish and bone into that bed. It's already had last year, the back end of last year, it's already had some farmyard manure added in September last year, so that's broken down. We don't need any more nitrogen particularly. So a general purpose feed, like the blood, fish and bone that we've got there, will do great for them. They've only got about 3 weeks. If I don't get them out of them little trays there, they're going to be ready for eating, aren't they? So they're going to go in there. They've got about another 3 or 4 weeks to go. So these are the pak choi joy choy that we started off 6 weeks ago, and they're definitely ready for going out now, bursting through the bases with the roots there, the root system there. So all we do is we give them a little bit of a squeeze, and gently lift them out. Gently lift them out. You don't want to disturb the stems. But I've noticed that when I try and take it up by the leaf, I tend to snap the leaves. So I'm just very gently going to put them in there. And what I'll do is I'll firm them in, leaving the bum sticking out. I'll show you. Ta-da! They're all in. Love pak choi. It's great. A highly nutritious plant. You can eat the lot. The leaf, the stem, the base. Good in stir fries. Or lightly boiled. Lovely. So there are 24 in there. All I need to do now is try as best as I can to prevent them from being decimated by pigeons and cabbage white butterflies, which are a plague around these lands. So we'll get them covered over with the scaffold debris netting, sometimes referred to as construction debris netting. So we're going to cover it with that. I've already put the netting on. It's been on last year. It was used for brassicas last year, this. So we're not really rotating this year. We didn't have any issues. We lime the soil, make sure it's a free draining soil as well, so that you don't fall foul of club root, because club root is a problem on these allotments. But not for us, because we kind of keep on top of it. Club root stunts the growth of your plants. You get the roots of your brassica plants looking like Jerusalem artichokes, which is never a good thing. So anyway, that's had the lime, it's had the lot. There are videos on the channel all about club root and other pests. So we'll keep that for another viewing. But yeah, I'm just going to cover it over now with the netting. So what I'm going to do is just carefully, without cutting the netting, try and snip these zip ties off. These zip ties have just been in place to hold the netting over winter while we have the onions in that we transplanted. So I'm going to clip it all off along there, and then we'll cover her up. And there it is, all netted up. Now, the netted tent keeps the cabbage white butterflies off. Now, it's a little bit early for cabbage white butterflies, but the cabbage white butterfly lays its larvae, its eggs, onto the plants, the brassica plants, the leafy green plants. They then hatch and turn into small green caterpillars, which will devour your stock if you're not careful, like we are. So that keeps the butterflies off them. I planted them relatively away from the sides of the netting, because if it can poke its bum through the net, then the butterfly will lay its eggs. But they should be okay. They should be okay for the next 3 or 4 weeks until they grow into full mature plants, ready for harvest. You can eat them at this stage, obviously. You can have them as salads at this stage. They're very tender. I've just eaten one myself, actually. A couple of the leaves did break off, and I've eaten them. But what the net does, it prevents the pigeons, the wood pigeons, from getting to them, and also the cabbage white butterflies. So yeah, we're looking after them there, aren't we? It keeps the temperature in there as well a little bit warmer. You'll notice if you were sat in there, if you were that little plant inside there, you'd be 1 or 2 degrees warmer than if you'd have been open planted and the elements are getting to you. It does make a bit of a difference. But we've fixed them down. These are on zip ties. These zip ties will lift up and down. So you can lift them up and get in and tend to your plants, and then close them off with the zip ties. They give just enough tension to hold it down, and then a couple of old canes wrapped around your excess netting does the job. And they're tied around these canes at the sides. So you need the hoops. We've got 3 hoops on this one, and then we've got the uprights at either end, and that just gather in your excess, and away you go. Better having more netting than not enough netting. You want to get it so as it's impregnable as much as you can to the caterpillars and the birds. It also helps to subdue or repulse the slugs. The slugs don't like this stuff. They don't like crawling over the netting. I mean, you will get the odd couple coming underneath to get to them, but we'll just have to keep our eyes on that. And over the next couple of months, I'll be coming down of an evening with a headlamp on and checking the beds, and if I find a slug, evicting him and dispatching him. Okay, so once again, guys, thanks for dropping by. You can see full videos on creating these netted hoop tent beds and preparing the beds for brassicas in the playlists. So if you go onto our channel, the actual channel, you can see that in the playlists and take a look at those. But we're going to be doing them again when we do this bed behind me, this one. I'll be showing you the full process. In fact, this is going to be a brassica bed as well at the side of it. I started to do this last year, but we've laid that fallow last year. Nothing grew in that, so it's just been covered up. I'm going to be exposing these beds over the next couple of days and seeing what the ground's like underneath, and seeing what amendments we need to make, and also doing some running repairs on the sectional beds, because that back timber there needs replacing. If you look, it's busted out. Anyway, I'm going to be repairing that, and we'll be showing you, because this is going to be a big one. It's going to be a slightly higher one, because it's a slightly wider bed than this one next door to it, its little brother. This is going to be the big one for the broccoli and calabrese, and perhaps the kale as well is going to go in here. And in this one, we're going to have the cauliflower. All the cauliflowers are in this bed. The broccoli, or rather calabrese, and kale's going to go in there, and then the pointed cabbage is probably going to be going in here as well. Alright, so those are our brassica beds. Hope you enjoyed that, or you will be enjoying that over the next couple of weeks as we get them all planted in. I'll show you what we've actually got to planting brassica wise. There they are, Zaragoza F1 cauliflowers. Got plenty of that there. Got the beetroots, they need to go out as well, and the rainbow chard. The greyhound cabbage up there too. I'm not too sure about the greyhound cabbage this year, you know. I might just do some indoors if possible. But we've got the kale. We've got the kale there, and we've also got the calabrese, which is more commonly known as broccoli, but it's not actually broccoli. It's in the broccoli family, but that's what everybody knows broccoli as. But it's actually calabrese. So they're going to be going out. Right, so I'm going to be cracking on. Me and my bees. I didn't harvest that pak choy from last year, you know. The experimental pak choy that we overwintered in here has now become a cornucopia of beautiful flowers. It just smells like honey, floral honey inside it, you know. But the bees are loving my work. We only ate about 6 of them. It's a waste, isn't it? Or is it? Because we could be harvesting the seeds from these. The bees have pollinated them. And the bees are getting the benefit from them. But yeah, look at that. Smells gorgeous in here. Really nice. It's worth it for the smell. That sweet pollen smell, that honey smell. But yeah, they're sort of pollen harvesting insects and what have you. The bees are absolutely loving it. That kale's going to seed as well, that one. I might leave that one and take this one. I've got to take that. I've been nibbling on it, look. That's not any insect creature, it's me that nibbling it as I'm coming down. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that. As we say, keep growing with your heads down. And I'll catch you next time. I'm going to be carrying on doing a couple more hours down here. I may do a bit more filming, but yeah, if I don't see you before, I'll see you through the window. If I don't see you through the week. You've been beautiful, fragrant and fantastic. If you're a lady, if you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, virile and masculine. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between, and we love you all. Alright, take care everybody. Tatty bye. Have a great weekend. Bye bye now.